Jared stared at the approaching silicate planet. A blanket of clouds smothered the planet. It hurt the view, but also provided the planet's ability to habituate life so close to the sun. He couldn't see it through the helm of the ship, but he knew that beneath those clouds lay deep swashes of green cutting through vast expanses of blue. The atmospheric readers showed green: minimum nitrogen levels, acceptable oxygen levels, elevated carbon dioxide levels but acceptable. All this accounted to breathable air. Arturius II, up close, looked even more promising than its initial scans showed. Jared let out a held breath, something that had caught in his throat since being awakened by Vicky, the ship's AI, 2 weeks ago. "Prepare to land," he told Vicky. "Yes, Captain," Vicky's mechanical voice responded. "And wake the crew. They won't want to miss this." Vicky's voice came out of every wall and floor. It reminded Hannah of old robot movies where the robots would turn on their creators. She pushed herself up and stretched, loosening up 300 years' worth of stiffness in her shoulders. "Landing procedures starting," Vicky said. "T-minus 18 hours. All around her, people got out of their pods, wiggled their joints, and even yawned. Imagine that. 300 years of sleep, and it's still not enough. Hannah flung her feet out of her pod and hit the floor. Her breath caught. The floor felt like ice. A smile spread across her lips. It was uncomfortable and even painful, but that's exactly what she wanted. "I made it," she said, her voice cracking before the sentence's end. It sounded foreign. She looked forward to acquainting herself with it. "Hannah!" Heavy footsteps approached her. She looked over and found Jared approaching in his captain's uniform. A white navy cap and suit with studded buttons and military pins. His clothes hung off his limbs like they were being held out to dry. His sharp blue eyes looked sunken into his skull and his hair thinner. She imagined she looked the same. "How was the nap?" he asked, the edges of his lips twitching up. Hannah pressed her lips together to stop her own smile. "Quick!" she rasped. She raised her brow at him, not wanting to strain her voice further. "Tell me the good news." Jared returned her a nod. "We made it." Hannah gasped, her smile stretching off her cheeks. "Yes!" she shouted. Not everybody could fit in the helm. Some had to watch out the side windows or through a TV. But for important crew and their family, they got front row seats to the greatest sight in the universe. Jared squeezed his wife's hand. She must have felt tired. He also remembered post-sleep fatigue, but he would make her lay down later. This was not a sight one should miss. Wisps of white zoomed past them, parting at the windows. Jared's heart quickened, his blood pounding through his ears. This must have been how Moses felt, leading his people to the promised land. "Descending out of cloud coverage," Vicky said. 10 seconds. An arm wrapped around Jared's body and a head rested against his shoulders. "Congratulations," Hannah whispered. "You just gave 1 million people a new home." 5, Vicky started, and everybody else joined in. 4, they chanted together. 3. Jared's eyes swelled with tears and his chest with pride. 2. Hannah squeezed his shoulders. 1. Everyone gaped out the window in silence, their eyes wide and jaws dropped. Arturius II looked just like Earth, rusted, ashen, and diseased. Plumes of smoke rose from the ground in fields of metallic silver. The water here resembled the artificial baby blue dye that they had put into Earth's oceans. Jared's eyes darted across the landscape but couldn't find a speck of green. "What is this?" he muttered, stepping out of his wife's embrace to the window. "New transmission," Vicky said, relaying it through. "To unidentified ship, you are on private property. This planet belongs to Federation mining conglomerate. Please turn around. I repeat, unidentified ship." Jared stared through the window, a breath caught in his throat.